tight ends, same four guys. You got Herkett and Entringer defensively, and then Gronowski and Logan Jones on the offensive side. So those are our four guys. Injury-wise, really nothing new to speak of, and I think we're in pretty good shape relatively for this time of year. No big deal there. Then in football, it really tapes your resume, and if you look at Oregon on tape or watch them on TV, obviously they're just a really good football team in all three phases. Do a great job. And I think the bottom line is they're a really aggressive football team. They're very sound and very, very talented. Very well coached. Coach Lanny's done a great job there in a short period of time. Specifically, look back the last 2 years, there aren't many losses, on their resume. So they've been really playing at a high level, and that's with some new players this year too, and that's been impressive too. They've got recruited extremely well. They've got a veteran team, but they've also got a lot of young guys that are involved too, especially in the back end, skill positions, guys that are freshmen that are playing big roles and doing a really good job. So it's just an impressive mix and array. Offensively, I don't even know where you start. They're really good up front, which allows them to do a lot of things. Good quarterback play, good line play. And then they've got, good skill positions, the tight ends. They got it too deep there. It's really impressive. Receiver core is extremely talented. And then they've got three backs that are really, clipping right along, and they're doing a great job there. Defensively, they're really a disruptive team. Very, very aggressive, very talented, very disruptive. And again, well coached on that thing. And then special teams, they do a great job there. Got good specialists and a lot of good core players that clearly take a lot of pride in what they're doing. So be a big challenge for us, certainly, and, look forward to that coming up on Saturday. Talk about the kid captain. We got Harper Atkinson is with us from Wapello. Harper and her twin brother, Knox, were born over in Stead Family Hospital a couple years back, and both of them, great young kids. Knox was born with cerebral palsy, so that certainly was a tough diagnosis. And then about 2 years later, Harper started undergoing. She just had spontaneous bone breaking, and they diagnosed her with a rare bone disease. So that's what her situation is. She's had 11 surgeries, several procedures. Spent a lot of time over there, but is really doing well as a fourth grader. I'm told she's very active, loves school. Loves riding horses, piano, singing, all those things, and just a great personality. So it'd be really good to have her and her family with us on Saturday. Look forward to that. And then just, wrapping it up here, obviously a big week this week for everybody. A lot of interest in this game, certainly on the outside, and I think the key for us is trying to keep our focus really where it needs to be, and we've got our hands more than full just trying to get ready for Oregon. So that being said, I'll throw it out and answer any questions.
David Eichel, HawkeyeInsider.com. Kirk, over the years, you've had countless great leaders on your offense, defense, quarterbacks, wherever it may be. But, everybody always reflects it back upon you and the leadership you've brought to the table. When you go into a game like this, kind of a primetime matchup, how do you kind of balance between, I don't want to say over-coaching your team or over-motivating your team, and how much of it do you kind of just leave up to the player leadership to kind of fill in that gap?
Yeah, two things on that front. You're right. I think we've had really good leadership over the years here, and it's been, really interesting. But I think this year especially, because we've lost some really dynamic guys the last couple of years. So you go back to January, we got started, and this group just kind of collectively has really done a great job, and it's been that way January on. They've just kind of built on that. So it's really kind of been diffused in my mind. And a lot of other guys have joined. Mark wasn't with us last year, but, obviously he's been a great addition. Some of the newer guys have joined right in there. So, it's really been more of a collective type of thing. And, a game like this, there's not a lot I need to say, quite frankly. All the guys have to do is look at the film, look at the numbers, and that gets your attention. So we know what we're up against here in terms of a challenge. And I think the biggest thing right now, my job is to try to keep them focused on what we're doing and not all the other stuff going on. And there is a lot going on, I'm sure. But, the challenge for us is on the field. And right now it's on the film.
Kirk, John Sears, WHO-TV. Wanted to ask you about Mark. I know we've touched on this a little bit. Some players just seem to have that it when it comes to winning, maybe goes beyond the numbers. What is it about Mark that you saw and he continues to prove about why he can lead a program to wins and just keep on winning?
Yeah, I think he does have a record for that, right? I think that's correct. I've read the game notes and all that stuff. So, to me, things don't happen accidentally. It's not the same as I think about Joe Von Johnson. We recruited him 25 years ago or whatever it would have been. There's nothing about him physically necessarily that stood out. He wasn't tall enough, wasn't quite fast enough, but he's playing for Mercyhurst Prep School in Erie, Pennsylvania. Not exactly a huge school. But he just did everything well, and his team won. Ed Hinkle was the same way when he was at Cathedral Prep. His teams won, from where on. And some guys just, I think, I don't think it's a coincidence sometimes. They're part of that. They're not the sole reason, but they're part of it. And I think in Mark's case, that's certainly what it's been since he went to college. To me, the most interesting thing was that, no Big Ten schools offered him. And I'm assuming no MAC schools offered him either because he ended up at South Dakota State, which is a great program. But, at an early point in his career, he had great success, which is really unusual for a guy that young, and then it's just continued. So there's something about him maybe that didn't quite measure up, to meet this specification or that specification. But bottom line, it's about production and getting the job done, and he's certainly done that.
Ethan Petrick, Quad City Times. This weekend's the military appreciation game. It's typically when your team will wear the American flag, Tiger Hawk, on the right side of your helmet. Why is it important for your program to, honor those who have served this country with that very visible reflection of your appreciation, and why is that a tradition that's endured since 2009?
Yeah, I don't mean to make light of it, but I better check to make sure we've done that. I'm assuming we do, because a lot of things around here, they just happen. A matter of people know the drill. But to the bigger point, and the most important point is just towards the military, and we honor somebody each and every week, which I think is really a nice touch. Obviously, the service is important, but I think also the sacrifice, and that's a huge, to me, component of people that do serve in the military. For them, it's a way of life, and I'm sure it's in their blood a little bit. At least that's been my experience in visiting with people that do it for quite a while. But then you talk about the sacrifice part of it, and coaches love to talk about how hard they work and all that. I mean, the life of a military person is not easy for anybody. And to be a spouse of somebody who's in the military and then to raise a family under those conditions, it really takes, I think it takes special people. So certainly I think all of us are appreciative of their service, but also appreciate the sacrifices they make. And that truly is a life of service. So, hats off to everybody that's. And then, we play a kid's game, right? We're getting celebrated as, people out there playing a kid's game. But, all the stuff we get to do in our country, came with a price. So, very appreciative of that as well.
Chad Leis-Deco, Des Moines Register. I can predict the answer to this, I know, but as you look back.
No sense.
Well, I know, but
then.
You'll see where I'm going with this.
Okay.
So you look back on the wall, you see Jack Campbell, Cooper DeGee, and Jay Higgins the last 3 years as kind of defensive stars. I would say this. Who would you say this year's defensive star is?
Yeah, you're right. I'll go back to the leadership thing. It's really been a group effort. And, a quick illustration just to cherry pick is, Jaden went down a couple of weeks ago with a knee sprain. And, Jay Montgomery stepped in and done a great job. And we've continued to play well. So, it's really been a collective effort. And obviously we have some guys that are emerging right now and doing a really good job there. But I think, they'd be mad at me if I started singling guys out. It's just been a really collective effort. Everybody's playing well right now, playing together. And most importantly, a lot of the guys on the team that are playing currently are a lot better than they were a year ago. And that's how things happen when you graduate. Guys like the guys you mentioned, which is part of college football, somebody's got to be coming along, and those guys have done a great job stepping up.
Scott Docterman with The Athletic. I wanted to ask Kirk about the mid-zone run you guys implemented last year, and what was the conversation like when Tim kind of described what he wanted to do? Because obviously it marries every part of the team, George, you, and wide receivers and running backs. But then also, when did you feel like that people started to get comfortable with it, aiming points, where the running back is vision and everything? When did it feel like that became a core play in this offense?
Yeah, I don't think it was really that tough of a transition or integration into the system, because it really fits in pretty seamlessly with what we've been doing. So I think it just gives us a little bit more variety in a way. But Yeah, it really wasn't that much of an adjustment. I think it's just a matter of, repetition, getting guys comfortable where it becomes natural. And to me, all we've done is add to our arsenal a little bit, and I think it's probably made the other parts a little bit more effective as well. But yeah, it's just repetition like anything you do. And, you're always learning. I mean, that's one great thing about football, at least that's been my experience. I always reference my 6 years in the NFL. I was always fascinated. It was rare when a day, by the end of the day, something would have happened, just something you see on film.